welcome back to All About That Disney Life. I am Danny B, the girl who is all about that Disney life. The next movie we'll be talking about is The Parent Trap, the first one that came out in 1961. So let's get to know the cast. We had Hayley Mills as Sharon McKendrick and Susan Evers, the twins. Brian Keith was Mitch Evers. Maureen O'Hara was Maggie McKendrick. Joanna Barnes was Vicki Robinson. Charlie Ruggles was Charles McKendrick. Kathleen Nesbitt was Louise McKendrick. Una Merkel was Verbena. Leo G. Carroll was Reverend Dr. Mosby. Linda Watkins was Edna Robinson. Ruth McDevitt was Miss Abby Inch. Crahan Denton was Hecky. Nancy Culp was Miss Grunecker. Frank DeVol was Mr. Eaglewood. And Susan Henning was the body double, basically in shots where they needed both Hayley and another Hayley because she played both of the twins. Susan was the body double whenever the twins were in both of the shots for the movie. So let's get down to the movie about seeing double and reuniting two parents who still loved each other. Number 1, the development. The Parent Trap is based on the 1949 book Lisa and Lottie by Eric Kastner. It was discovered by story editor Bill Dover, who recommended the studio to buy the film rights. Filming started in July of 1960 under the title We Belong Together, and it went until September of 1960. Number 2, film locations. Mostly the film was shot in California. The summer camp scenes were filmed at Bluff Lake Camp. The family camping scenes were filmed at Cedar Lake Camp, both in San Bernardino Mountains near the city of Big Bear Lake in Southern California. The Monterey scenes were filmed at Millionaire Stuyvesant, and I hope I said that right, Fish's 5,200-acre ranch in Carmel and Monterey's Pebble Beach Golf Course. The scenes at the Monterey house were filmed at the studio's Golden Oak Ranch in Placentia Canyon. Camp Inch was based on a real girls' camp called Camp Crest Ridge for girls at the Ridgecrest Baptist Conference Center near Asheville, North Carolina. Number 3, the box office and the release. This movie made $9.3 million in the United States. So for a grand total, it made about $25.1 million. And The Parent Trap was released into theaters on June 21st, 1961. Number 4, awards and nominations. In 1962, the movie was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Sound, but it lost to West Side Story. It was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Film Editing, but it lost to, once again, West Side Story. It's a good movie, after all. But this movie did win an Eddie Award for Best Edited Feature Film for a Comedy or a Musical. Number 5, the legacy of The Parent Trap. In 1961, there was a comic book of the movie by Dan Spiegel. The movie was re-released in 1968, and it made $1.8 million in rentals. And there were also 3 TV sequels, Parent Trap 2, which came out in 1986, Parent Trap 3, which came out in 1989, and The Parent Trap Hawaiian Honeymoon, which also came out in 1989. Number 6, bonus facts. I couldn't find a lot of information on The Parent Trap, so I found some bonus facts on other Disney websites to use, so here we go. In the dance party scene where the cake falls and lands on Miss Inch's face, director David Swift wanted to cut the shot, but when Disney saw that scene, he said leave it in, saying it would be the biggest laugh of the movie. Susan Henning was the body double for Hayley Mills for the twin shots. As part of her contract, she signed away her rights to be credited in the movie. But she got a small statue of Donald Duck called the Duckster for the best unseen performance on film. Susan also appeared in the Elvis Presley vehicle Live a Little, Love a Little. The title song was sung by Tommy Sands and Annette Funicello, and they were filming Babes in Toyland at the time. In the scene where Brian Keith trips on the chair, he fell so hard that he cracked a rib, but he kept filming that scene. This was the first movie that the Sherman Brothers wrote for a Disney movie. Hayley Mills' sister, Juliet, appeared in a movie with Brian Keith and Maureen O'Hara called The Rare Breed, which came out in 1966. 16 years earlier, MGM released a version of this movie called Twice Blessed. The isolation cabin is called Serendipity. When the family leaves to go camping, the pickup truck door has the label Golden Oak Ranch, which is a Disney filming location. The popsicle stick birdcage appeared on the Antiques Roadshow in 2017 with the letter from Walt Disney Productions signed by C. Bernard Rogers of the property department. Both items were estimated to cost between $5,000 and $8,000. When it was first released, 2 Donald Duck cartoons shared the bill: Donald and the Wheel and the Litterbug. Susan Henning was fitted with a rubber prosthetic nose that looked like Haley's nose. The Parent Trap was partly responsible for the TV series The Patty Duke Show, which had identical cousins, one cultured and refined, and the other that was middle American and hip. Haley's dad, John Mills, who was in Swiss Family Robinson, he makes a cameo appearance as Brian Keith's golf caddy. And 2 years before this movie, Maureen O'Hara and Juliet Mills were in a TV movie called Mrs. Miniver. And that is it, all the facts about The Parent Trap. If you like this video, please hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And don't forget to subscribe. And I hope you have a zippity-doo-dah day. Goodbye.